I have another question that this guy, I've tried this because I was stopped by a cop once, and he stuck the thing in my mouth before I could open my mouth and said blow, and I thought this is terrible. And then I hear about the traffic cops arresting people and taking them around town for a couple of hours and then dropping them off somewhere else. So it's a bit worrying.
Yeah,
I think it's a wonderful thing for the trucks. Great, I'd go for it.
Yeah, this is becomes a personal device, and people know their alcohol or drinking habits is recorded. So we find in markets where we have it, specifically in the taxis, that it's a personal thing. People don't want anybody to blow on that because it goes on record. It's stored in the unit, and it can be retrieved, via RF or via PC. And people don't want anybody to blow on that, even if a drunk person to play around with it, because it's my record. So they're not going to take a mouthful of beer and then blow into this, knowing that it's going to register over them as drunk. So people do tend to, it changes their behavior. They know this is their record. Their supervisor will see it. Their boss will see it. So it changes their behavior.
Mike, just out of interest, you say you're a farmer and you're required by law to test the alcohol levels of your workers.
No, not quite like that. What happens is if I'm going to punish a person for coming to work drunk, or give him a warning or 2 warnings or 3 warnings, I've then got to prove that he was drunk.
Okay,
I understand. For that reason, and obviously it's not something I like to do, but I also show it to my people and I show them how it works, and it will stop them getting drunk, or they'll come to work and say, sorry, I've been drinking at work today. It's really
okay.
Help as well. You don't want them driving tractors and things like that if they are drunk.
Understood. Thanks for coming through, Mike. Mike calling us from Cape Town. You too can join in this conversation if you'd like to understand more about this device. It has been developed by a company called PFK Electronics, and their sales and marketing director, Colin Sneyman, is my guest on the line. It can be used in particularly those that transport, as he says, precious cargo. More than anything, the most precious is human beings, those that are involved in public transport. It can be used. You're saying this is a rather costly device. Tell us about the costs involved and where you keep the database and so on. How does it collate a database from various vehicles in a fleet?
The unit cost, as I said, this unit meets international standards. There's a so-called European standard, the CENLEX standard, and our unit adheres to that standard. So it's not you can buy really cheap vessels analyzers that works for about a month, and they're totally inaccurate in terms of the actual blood alcohol that they're registering over there. So in that regard, the unit is expensive because it's quite a state-of-the-art device. The price of the unit, well, it depends on what features you have to it, because as I said earlier on, you can add a GSM communicator to it so that it relays all the information to a control room. The basic unit, we're looking at about 6,000 Rand installed product, and it can be as much as 8,000 Rand if you have all the GSM links and GSM communicators in there as well. The unit can store up to 16,000 events. So 16,000 date time stamps will be there when somebody blows into the unit and starts the vehicle. It's stored in the device, and it can be downloaded then onto your PC or to the supervisor, and they can then analyze it and do a report of your drinking behavior or your blood alcohol behavior for the past month or 3 months, whatever the case is.
The maximum number of units, units, yes, in case of, say, a fleet operator. How many trucks or taxis can I connect to the central control system?
Oh, as many as you want to. It's infinite. I mean, there's not a limit. You can connect thousands and thousands of trucks on it. We sell the wireless unit into the Swedish market. It's very popular in Sweden, and we have about 8,000 systems there running off one database. So there's no real limit to that.
And what has been the unit's popularity levels here back home?
Well, with the unit that we launched now at Automechanica this week is a unit made specifically for the South African market. I'd say more robust. The temperatures in South Africa, as you know, can get very hot inside a car.
What do you mean more robust? It must comply with Mampur Mbamba drinking South African.
Robust in terms of the environment it sits in. Our product is selling into Europe. It's mainly the taxis. The truck market, you need a unit that sits on the dash with the so-called cable over there. So it's got to be robust for the handling by drivers. They sometimes drop the unit if they don't. It fits it into the cable, and it's got to take the bumps and the knocks. but robust in terms of the environmental condition. It gets up to 80 degrees Celsius inside the cab, and the unit shall still be able to operate at 80 degrees in South Africa or minus 40 out in Sweden. So it's quite a temperature range, and to get an alcohol temperature sensor, the so-called fuel cell that measures or changes the hydrocarbons into an electrical signal, it's a kind of sophisticated electronics, and to operate over that extreme temperature specification takes some quite engineering skills, and we're quite proud of our engineers having achieved that, and to develop a product that can operate over that range and be accurate as well.
One would love to see this unit popularity catching on, particularly with the public transport companies. Are they showing any interest, taxi drivers particularly, or those that own taxis?
It's just been launched. We find, that the trend was initially there's some resistance from, say, the drivers. Why should I be measured? But eventually they get very proud when there's a sticker on the back of the bus say this vehicle is fitted with a alcohol blocking system. So people know that bus is safe. That driver is not drinking because he has to be tested, and it becomes a positive aspect when people use that. We sell the product in South African market thus far to the mines, where there's a lot of accidents on mines and deaths at mines, and the unions don't appreciate that, and they've implemented it for people operating these huge dump trucks on mines and open cast mines where alcohol is a problem. And to prevent deaths and injury and obviously damage and loss of property, they're starting to install that in the mining fraternity. We're speaking to the Department of Transport. We're speaking to, the 2010 bus companies that we're going to fit the product to. So it's taken off, and we're talking to insurance companies because there might be some rebates that people that use the product, because it limited the risk and can definitely reduce the accidents. So it's just been launched, and the market is so excited. We can't believe the interest we've had from callers all over South Africa and companies all over South Africa. As I said, we're exhibiting at Automechanica this week, and people are on the stand and queuing up there to look at the device and to have a test sample taken of their breath alcohol. So it's quite excitement, and we expect a huge future for the product.
We keep on referring to it as the device, the unit. What exactly is its market name?
It's branded under the AutoWatch. Our product brand in South Africa is the AutoWatch, and it's the AutoWatch Alcolock blocking system.
Okay. Well, be advised, be warned, drunk drivers out there. There is a unit that's going to make sure you arrive alive. Call us on 0891 104 207 to find out more about this. 0891 104 207. My guest is the Marketing and Sales Director at PFK Electronics, Colin Snyman.
Morning Talk on SAFM. SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader.
Colin, I'm going to go to the lines. Let's see if we can accommodate as many as we can. Then I'll come back to you to respond. Starting with Walter in Johannesburg. Walt?
Yes, good day, Tebo.
Yes, Walter, your question?
Yes, just a quick one. I'm just interested in the accuracy of those systems. And also the other issue, the second one is the international standard. I didn't hear quite correctly as to which one did he mention. But I was a bit involved in those things. So I wanted to ask, which international standard is it that is basing the test and the accuracy on it?
Okay. And Temba is in East London. Temba?
I just want to ask, in the installation, I'm doing satellite installation and so on. Is there any chance so that we can do like on our private installation on those devices, because I'm putting satellites as well?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Colin. Maybe let's start off with Colin.
The standard. I think the first question from Walter was about the standard.
Yeah, the international standard that you used. Yeah.
The standard that our product adheres to and is tested in laboratories out in Europe is the so-called SENLEC standard. I don't know the acronym stands for it because it's French, but the SENLEC is a European standard set up by countries all over Europe, and it's tested in laboratories and certified in laboratories out in Sweden. I think the second...
And he questioned the accuracy of the device.
Well, it's calibrated. It has to be recalibrated every 6 months. So through our network of fitment centers, they can go to one of the fitment centers, and every 6 months the unit has to be recalibrated. In fact, on the display, the unit has an LCD display. It'll come up there to warn you that you have to have the unit recalibrated, within a set period.